war on Ukraine and the Israel-Palestine war marked the biggest foreign policy debacles of the USA under Joe Biden. Ukraine and Gaza are considered the biggest failures of Joe Biden administration. However, Biden has made several other disastrous foreign policy decisions as well, which are hardly ever talked about. It is one of those decisions that we will talk about today, and it involves the small African nation of Uganda. Welcome to the Bharat Perspective, and today we will discuss how the USA bullied the African nation and punished Uganda for its Anti-Homosexuality Act. In May 2023, Uganda's President Musaveni signed into law the country's Anti-Homosexuality Act, which is considered to be one of the harshest in the world. The law has provisions for death penalty for repeated violations of the Act and 20 years in prison if an individual is found guilty for promoting homosexuality. Activists in Uganda challenged the law in court, but the law was upheld in court. I don't want to go into the merits of the law or try to defend it. It does seem excessively harsh from the looks of it. What I do want to focus on is how the US responded to it.
Make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda. Our country, we will have our morals, we will protect our children, and we are making this law. We are making this law for ourselves, we are making this law for our children, we are making this law for the children of our children.
The USA, apart from condemnations and all, terminated Uganda's eligibility for benefits under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, that is AGOA. The AGOA provides eligible sub-Saharan African countries with duty-free access to the US market for over 1,800 products, in addition to the more than 5,000 products that are eligible for duty-free access under the Generalized System of Preferences program. Terminating Uganda's eligibility to the AGOA benefits clearly would have a severe negative impact on its economy, and that is precisely what the USA wanted. In addition to that, the Joe Biden administration reduced government-to-government aid and put an end to several aid programs that benefited Uganda. Programs implemented by the Department of Defense were halted as well. Furthermore, in October 2023, a business advisory was issued highlighting the risks to US businesses and individuals who wanted to conduct business in Uganda. The Anti-Homosexuality Act also promoted the US Treasury to continue supporting the World Bank's freeze on new public lending to the government of Uganda. All of this was not the end of it all. A travel advisory was also issued cautioning LGBT individuals and supporters of LGBT rights against visiting the country, saying that such people face the risk of life imprisonment or death. Lastly, visa restrictions were also imposed on Ugandan nationals who are believed to engage in the oppression of homosexuals in the country. You might support the USA's action against Uganda, or you may not, but there are certain principles at play here. It is neo-colonialism at its pristine best, where the world superpower is attempting to bully a small country into accepting its own social rules using its economic strength as a leverage. And that, we can agree on, is unacceptable. Even if the USA did want Uganda to change its policy towards homosexuals, there is much better way to do it than destroying its economy, which would only make the average Ugandan hate the LGBT community more, because the LGBT community will then be blamed for the collapsing Ugandan economy. It is hard to see how these attacks on the Ugandan economy helps the LGBT community there. Because if the Ugandan economy suffers, they will suffer too. Also, it is quite clear that Uganda was targeted by the Joe Biden administration for its Anti-Homosexuality Act only because it's a soft target. Multiple other Islamic countries have equally harsh laws, but the USA has made no attempt to punish them for it. Pakistan criminalizes same-sex relations and carries the maximum punishment of life imprisonment. However, we don't see any actions being taken against Pakistan for it. The USA has been famously funding Pakistan while it continues to wage war against India. So much for the USA's commitment to LGBT rights worldwide. Saudi Arabia criminalizes homosexuality as well, and its laws even carry the death penalty for it. The same as Uganda. And yet, Saudi Arabia is the USA's second strongest ally in the Middle East after Israel. LGBT rights end where the petrodollar hegemony begins. Considering how the USA has treated Uganda, can you really blame them for cozying up to China? In September 2024, Ugandan Vice President Jessica Alupo attended the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, in China. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement that it was ready to work with Uganda to take the important common understandings reached between the two heads of state as a guide to deepen exchanges and cooperation in various fields, seek closer synergy of the Belt and Road cooperation with Uganda Vision 2040, and help deepen and substantiate China-Uganda cooperation so as to make greater contributions to building a high-level China-Africa community with a shared future. During the summit, China and Uganda signed two crucial protocols that would pave the way for Uganda to export chilies and aquatic products to China. According to the Observatory of Economic Complexity, in 2023, China exported $2.32 billion of goods to Uganda, while Ugandan exports to China were valued at $87.6 million. The relations between the two countries are expected to grow even further in the coming years. Its actions against Uganda are one of the most obvious self-goals that the USA has committed in foreign policy in the 21st century, and there have been many. The USA needs to make its peace with the fact that we are living in a multipolar world and they cannot go around just bullying countries as they see fit. President Donald Trump has implemented a radical shift in US foreign policy since he began his second term in the White House, Ukraine and Gaza being the biggest examples. But there is a lot more for him to do if he intends to restore the USA's position in the world. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Let us know your thoughts on US's actions against Uganda in the comment section below.